and it prepared me to mentally carry that drive to life after school, to where I am now. So in all the journey wasn't smooth. It was rocky, as I mentioned. But what you need to understand that life itself are made up of many parts. Each part is dynamic. No person or no group of persons are the same part. The part that you embark on is solely for you, and how you navigate that part is determine the entire journey, because you put those parts together determines your journey. So I can come here and share the different parts that lead to the journey to where I am right now. However, it's very important that you know that you cannot try to follow my journey or Vashawn's journey or John Paul's journey, because your journey is dynamic. However, take different footprints from the journey and put it a part of yours and try to do your best going forward.
Wow. Wow. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Now we'll move on to Mr. Bramwell.
All right. Just checking. Everybody hearing me? You can just type in the chat or respond audio. Hearing me clearly? All right. So where to start? All right. My journey started before university. I attended the Glenmere High School in Clarendon. Pretty much at the time, I saw it as an arts school. So there was nothing there much to help you to say, all right, we're gearing you up for engineering. At the time, it was mostly doctors and lawyers. That was what they were pushing you for, but not my favorite cup of tea, right? I didn't even want to go to CMI or presently CMU. I actually applied for UTech. That was my first and only choice, but circumstances beyond my control. My father and my pastor decides, yes, CMI, it have to be, you know? So after so much heated debate, I end up over there because they must spend. Anyway, the journey was, I wouldn't want to describe it as being a rough one, because a rough life is a normal life for me. When I hear people testify about tin mackerel and those kind of stuff, I mean, even though that are my enjoyment. So it's just a normal life for me, right? Struggles is just a part of life and what I grew up with, right? So going to university had its challenges. Namely, first one was financial. And I know everybody at university buck up this problem somewhat. We can get into details as well. When I was going to school, my lunch money was $1,500 per week from Clarendon, right? I used to stay in Harborview, but still 1,500 per week. $880 out of that of a fare, because I had to go up on Sundays and reach back to Clarendon on Friday evening because I had to go to church every Saturday. That was mandatory, no exception, right? So you can do the maths, how much leave out of the 1,500 for lunch for the week. And you know when project time come for print projects, you're not on a lunch for the week. That is the situation I had to battle with for almost 2 years. But thankfully, I had some good friends too who helped me, so it wasn't so bad, right? A part of the journey that was fun and made it easier was also group study. Big up to Mr. Vashawn Burnett, one of the persons who actually tutored me. I wasn't good at engineering maths. I wasn't good at electrical, but these are some of the persons, Vashawn Burnett, even the same Andre that he spoke about. I mean, while I lift my hats to these guys, Vashawn live way at St. Thomas and Vashawn pay him one fare come to Harborview just to help me. Andre live at Clarendon. Andre pay him own fare, buy food, bring come, just to help us. So when you see even people like these around you guys, don't take them for granted. When you see your classmates, right, beside you, especially those the ones that will put them out of the way, don't take them for granted, right? Failing, it wasn't an option, but it happened. I wasn't the brightest in my class. Yes, I failed some subjects. But what I realized after failing those subjects and doing them over, that's when I got a better grasp of the subject. Some of those that I passed immediately, to tell you the honest truth, maybe if you ask me nothing about them right now, I can't recall. But the ones that I failed, if you ask me something about them, I can help you with that. Right? But throughout the whole journey, you learn to cope, you learn to adapt, you learn to deal with new personalities, right? And just to rally back on the financial struggles, I mean, when you realize that it is becoming continuous, help is not coming from anywhere, you have to try something for yourself. Now, I grew up with my father who in his spare time loved farming, right? And I realized once as you plant a seed, something will be on the tree. It either help cut the expense or help bring an income, which I did that when I was in university. So I started in my own yard, plant up some cash crops, tomatoes, callaloo, peppers, cucumber, pop chow, you name it, right? I didn't have enough space, but my neighbor yard have the space. So the deal I made with my neighbor, all right, if you allow me to plant up your yard, I will keep it clean for you. So debush it, plant it up. You're free to pick any produce you want, just for your house, that is, right? And I started planting so much that I find me one extra $1,000 a week now because me I sell callaloo every Sunday, right? Pepper I sell, same way, cucumber I sell, till me start even earn more than my lunch money for the week. So that kind of start help me. So one of the things is I'm imploring you, while you're in university, you will find that you're being forced to find a way out. And these are some of the ways, gentle people, that we can try to help ourselves. And every time we have the privilege to take up the phone and call our auntie over abroad, where we don't know so they under stress over there, right? And I call them and say, boy, beg your money. And we soon come back to the point why I even mention that, right? And every time we a good fever, some of them willing to help us, but we don't know that what pressure they're under over there, right? And when we go for work and travel, at that time, let me stop beg my people and money from overseas, right? Because the working conditions, people, may I tell you, I don't know how some of our families stay in them countries there for so much years. Jamaica is paradise. The next thing that I wanted to recall from my early years is grabbing opportunities. Now, one thing that let me look at life differently. There was this scholarship opportunity when we were in second year, right, for engineers. And the notice was put up, but all the responses or the mindset were the same. Boy, me not get that scholarship there, so me not bother apply for it. All our way past the notice board, some see it, some say, oh, we are going to apply. Some say, boy, next week me apply. Some say me not apply. Now what really happened? One student apply. Deadline reach. When they look at the list, one student. The requirements were that your GPA should be over 3. His GPA was 2.4. You should be in an extracurricular activity. He was in none. Him never meet none of the requirements. But the only requirement he met was that he applied. And he was the only one that applied. Now, this goes to show you, right, how faith works as well as grabbing an opportunity at the same time. Sorry about that, let me just jump back in. Yes, so you should grab opportunities as They are right. Don't underestimate yourself any at all, right? Another thing I want to recall is that during university, our brains were burnt out, studying after studying, boy, I wait for final year to come. And we weren't really focusing on just grasping the knowledge to make use of it after university. We did just want to study for pass. That was the motive then. Try not to fail so we can pass, so we can just hurry up and leave this place. And trust me, I know a lot of you within a university that are peak there right now. People don't give up, right? As me say, I failed a couple subjects before, right? And it wasn't easy because one of the things is my parents, when me say never have it, never have it. My mother is a basic school teacher. And when me tell her, say she make under $30,000 for the month, especially at the time. That was nothing. My father was pretty much at the time an illegal immigrant in another country, and immigration was on upon him. I mean, university, everything that could have happened in a bad way happened. So we were kind of flat on our face, right? Luckily, I took student loan, and one of the things I'm imploring you guys, talk to your relatives. Don't make pride make you run from student loan, people, right? If you know you don't have the finances and you really want to go to university, don't pressure your parents to go dig out them insurance, them life savings and whatever. SLB work, right? I'm a proud borrower. Yes, I'm a proud student loan customer, right? And it actually help you to go to university a bit easier than people paying out of pocket, right? And some of you might experience that. Me not figure even explain the technicalities of that, right? But if you don't have the finances, look to student loan. It works, right? Now, one of the things I was mentioning is embrace the knowledge that you're learning in school. When you're there now, don't think about it as, boy, how me can pass this, so me can swap the notes. Don't take this the wrong way, but nothing is wrong to fail, right? It is what you do after you fail that makes the difference. The Bible tells you about a man that fall but rise 7 times. If you fall, do not stay there. Always get up back, right? Always try. One of the things why I tried not to fail was because the receipt and redo price, I couldn't afford it. I think one redo was 44,000 at the time, and I failed out 4 courses out of the whole 4 years, right? And I redo all of them. I never have their money them time, right? I went to the registrar at the time and I plead my case, sir. I need to do over them here. I don't have the funds. Is there anywhere I can do them and pay after I get, and he asks me where I'm going to get the funds. And I tell him God will provide. And the man laugh, right? But luckily, he told me to write some thing and he gave me the permission to do them. And I got an internship at Jamaica. The Clarendon Alumina Works in Clarendon. And that's where on the work experience, the 3 summers I worked and I get the money to pay off those. After that, when me see how much money got on in a feeling, me I tell a boy, midnight oil start burn. Engineering maths I struggle with. And this was where Vashawn and Andre and a couple of them, my good friends, Steffi Joe Bujam, Javan, Roshana, Jamie Rowe. I mean, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, we see we walk up and down in an Harbour View. I wonder if we are mad people. Group study where I come from people. And a 1 degree I print, and I'm speaking as a lecturer and as a student. It is good to help each other. And a 1 degree I print with the whole of the name depending. Help each other, right? At the end of your university life, you're going to need each other. And soon get back to that. I know I don't have much time, but let me just jump on some other memories, right? Now, one of the worst subject I hated so much in university was in final year, which was Mandarin. Me a black man, me no need to know Chinese. That was my mindset at the time, right? Them come with them ni hao, me guan shi nyama, and me in a class, this was me. Couldn't focus, couldn't concentrate, but the lecturer realized that we did lose interest. So him find some creative ways to make we learn, right? Started learning, took it for granted until I went on the work and travel program. And this is what I'm saying, people. The main focus was engineering, but at the end of the day, you see each and every module or subject that you do in a degree program, when you put them aside and go in depth into one of them, trust me, they can bring you an income that is never heard of, right? When I went on work and travel, because we just fresh out a Mandarin class, don't do Mandarin exam, gone on plane in our uniform, right? Reach in America and start working. Now, when we land over there, start order some stuff on Amazon. Where I work, everything went to HR. Now, HR, they process each and every international student that come to work. So when I went there, I saw some Chinese students just flying from China, and the lady is American. She was having a big difficulty understanding them because she was like, hello, what's your name? Where's your passport? So, I said that, but I didn't pay no mind. So, just being friendly, I went over there and I was like, ni hao, ni ama. And they were like, so I asked them if them come from China in their language. And they say yes. And well, that was all I know. The conversation ended there. So the lady looked at me and said, oh, John Paul, you understand Chinese? And I was like, yeah, step out of the office. Now, good thing and bad thing. The workplace, they didn't want to give you overtime, right? They don't like to pay overtime. I'm on my day off. Me do a boom down. And I wonder who could have so bright for my day off. Work and travel, we not get no sleep. I come boom down my door. Me step out there, see him lady from HR. And me not even have no proper clothes, just me socks and underpants. And I went out there and I was asking like, what's the problem? Because boy, she seemed like something DC emergent, and she asked me if me can come at HR, come translate for her. She get her next load of Chinese way. She need them name, one name passport and so. So I tell her, say I'm a day off and me not come nowhere because I mean, it not benefit me. I'm want to sleep. And she said, no, we can arrange something. So I'm saying something is nothing to me. I need my sleep. And she said, all right, give me 2 minutes. She got HR, she come back. And she said, I spoke to the manager and said, we'll take you on for the day. But me say, today I'm a day off and I can't work for $8 per hour. She said, oh, no, it's $100 per hour. Me reach a HR before she. You can imagine, just because you know little Mandarin, your pay rate move from $8 per hour to $100 per hour. Now, when I went to HR people, I'm not fluent in a Mandarin, but sometimes Jamaican, we say we have a thing called common sense. I realize common sense, no, come on. I went to HR and she put me there around the table with them and greet them, start ask them name, and she said me to write them names in English. Some of them, boy, I couldn't write in English. But we end up give them English names for it easier for us workers. When she start asking me now what them passport, for them passport, which part of China they come from, boy, me start scratch me head because me don't know that. So common sense. I went into the bathroom. I told her I want a bathroom break. Went into the bathroom. I'm just go on Google Translate where she have on her phone too. And I just type in everything what she want to ask. And me use the voice thing on Google Translate. And me repeat about 20 times before me come out. And when me come out, nobody couldn't tell say me no know Mandarin. Right? So at the end of the day, people, don't take what you're learning in class for granted, especially the engineering ethics, the engineering management, all of them little subjects the way we we fly through and things so them know worthy. Trust me, they can help. Next thing, growing up, even during university, I have some persons closely related to me that look down on the Jamaican Creole, the patois. If you realize, I'm mostly in the chat. I do possess a strong command of the English language, but I still believe in using the patois. It works. This was a next income earner for me on work and travel. I worked on a dinner cruise boat in Wisconsin Dells, and one of my friends came to CMU as well, Shane Francis. We were on the boat and, you know, we try to get the guests them seated, we serve them alcohol and stuff. But you know, it's accurate for a Jamaican to talk to an ex-Jamaican in English, like, who does that? But, you know, someone there and, yo, Shane want to spot it, go run good on my bar. And it gets them like, my gosh, what kind of language is that? And I say, it's patois from Jamaica. And you know, them like, can you teach us some of that? So me I teach, you know where I go for work and travel now. This is my strategy, you can use it. Americans, they usually greet what's going on. So if they're speaking to Kishana, they say, hey Kishana, what's going on? I tell them, say in Jamaica, we greet Wagwan. It's the same thing as what's going on. So here it is. You have what's going on. You cross off the TS off of the what's, cross off the ING, and you're leave with WHAGOON. But pronounce it as you were going to say everything, but do not pronounce the things that are crossed out. After me do that, everybody know Wagwan. Naturally, white people start create one big old chaos on the board. Yo, Wagwan, me from Jamaica. And I say, yeah, man. Yes, when the evening done, tips would have kill your people. Embrace your culture. People don't come on vacation. Let me put this now. And one of the things I think can help tourism in this country is that we don't let the tourists experience the people enough, and we don't trust ourselves enough to let tourists experience us. We are a part of the tourism product, you know, people, and we have to understand that. That's why we have to limit the crime so people can feel safe around us. Them want to learn the language, them love the jerk chicken, them love the bush vibes, them love the beach vibes, but if we don't make our country look attractive by lowering the crime rate, cut out the corruption, cut out the stealing, cut out the murdering, then them things are going to keep money from the country, right? Now, that is one cup of tea I leave with you. The last thing now, final year. Boy, I did not pray for that year they come, but when the year come, it look like a first year, I start over. Final year didn't look final at all, because I'm going to feel something again, right? On top of it, the good old final year project. You don't know what to do. Anywho, project after project proposal just been, I think I don't remember if about 7 different proposals we had to write, and everything gets shut down. When I say get shut down, grenade launcher shut down, right? I was so frustrated until I decided to say, you know what, I'm going to do like some people I see in the industry. Now that me do over back one subject and go about business. When sitting pop up. And I actually went to one of my church brother house and saw this chicken defeader machine made out of wood and nail and everything. It worked, but had a lot of limitations. And they look funny. I remember in engineering ethics, it says engineering is a problem-solving job. So as an engineer, you're a problem solver. So my church brother have a problem. He have a machine, but he must have hold on to it, right? Feet operate. No, me not think that should have go so. Yeah, man have to turn up over a machine and hold it down for pick 2 chicken. As well as rainfall, he must have to tie up tarpaulin over it and so. So he had a very good concept, and when I went to my YouTube it and I realized, oh, so not necessarily him come up with the idea, but others existed. So I linked the supervisor at school and said, could I take this on for my final year project? And what I did, I looked at about 7 or 8 different designs right across the world. But the limitations part in your research, that's what I looked on to see what are the limitations each face. And that's what I worked on to say, all right, none of them no portable. I made them portable. Couple of them had on, some had steel frame, some wooden frame, some no frame at all. So when I did combine all the limitations and come up with one good design. Good to say, after that, presenting that, my supervisor, which is my current boss, Mr. McCarthy, looked at me and said, do not take this project lightly. I think it can become an income earner. As usual, me just glad to see me pass that stage. I need to listen to him. Final project done. Mr. McCarthy, you can't go and talk. Gone. That was my attitude. Oh, and the funny thing about that too, I had to demonstrate it. So my mother's car, yes, and Mummy, if you're gonna watch this later, please don't crucify me. But I had like 8 falling at the back of the car. So I had to put sheet over her seat then because me never have no way to bring the fallen from my school to demonstrate how the machine works. So me do have to put them in the live fall in my mother car. Me I drive, fall fly up and down in the car while me I drive. I mean I tell her, when me reach a school, not even me never smell so nice. Right? So end up kill some of them over there. Well, we never cut off no head over there. We just strangle them, sorry to say. Do the demonstration. But that was a quite an experience. Especially when the police they pull me over and look in the car, I wonder what the hell is happening in the car. But that is another story. After that, I started working at the university, and one of my co-workers now, which was a student at the time, she was working on her final year project, but she went in the machine shop and saw the machine and realized that, you know, long when my neighbor look for this, and she called her mother and tell her, say, I saw a machine, and this guy is a bank manager for Scotia Bank, Scotia Bank rather, in St. Elizabeth, Santa Cruz. Called me and said, I need one on the machine now, and how much is it? And I said, boy, sir, my name, do it as a business, you know. So I'd have to get back to you. Put up a whole casting and put it to him. He said, all right, no problem. And me did kind of fling up a cast and me think could have blow him off. But the man was so serious, him said, well, me can't compare you. Me tell him, he compare me. Responsibility, fling for me now. Right? Got the machine working up to scratch, build one for him, got it up to scratch, sold him. And I was like, wow, this is now an income earner. I got 2 other customers after that. And mark you, when I sold the first machine, it wasn't perfect. Thank God for that customer, him relay information to me. Yo, JP, you know, so that part I feel and, you know, pay back and forth. Bring the machine back from St. Elizabeth to Clarendon, from Clarendon to St. Thankfully, got the concept right now, no complaints, and we sell quite a few machines, right? So don't underestimate your final year project people, right? So that has become one of my income earners today. Also on work and travel, let me get back to that. When you go up on work and travel, people, do not go there just for the money. Money sweet, yes. Money answer it all problems, yes. But go for the experience. See what is there new to you in their country. Bring it back here, make it your own, right? One of the good things I know us as university students, we good pan is to copy and paste. But might I just switch that up for you? Don't just copy and paste. Copy, paste, and adjust, which are it we are preached to no long. So all our you know, plagiarism and you know the works. Copy, paste, and adjust. And this is not just a Word document I'm talking. If you go overseas and you see a concept that you think can make money out here, if you see a hot dog cart, don't just come back out here with a hot dog cart. What will make your hot dog cart different, right? One of the things that inspired me when I went there is the age of all the workers, especially managers that I was working for. On Work and Travel, my first manager was 18 when I was 23. 18-year-old, me I report to. Now, in our culture, them something they don't work. Because managers are 75 and up, jokingly, but I'm just saying. So when I realized this is one of the reasons why American economy will always remain strong, because they have young minds in managerial level from an early age, right? And I realized Jamaica start adapting right now. So when you're starting your business, people, don't just be traditional. Do something outside the box, right? And use up the knowledge that you gain. Engineering is not just flinging up a building, stringing lights, and the misconception fixing a car, because engineers don't really fix. We solve problems, we don't fix, right? So get yourself out of the mindset of that. Everything you learned in university can either help you make money or save a life. Every subject you learn. Right now, as I said, I went to Glenmere High School. It wasn't so much of an engineering school, but the little knowledge that we get there was kind of helpful, you know. Although I feel electrical in a CMU, but it was kind of helpful. But one of my favorite subjects were diesel plant, principle, and operation. And it's when I learn about engines and stuff. After that, me and my mechanic not agree anymore, because Mrs. Sandy that take my mother feed that for how long. People use the knowledge where you have, right? Because some of them, you go there, them tell you, say, oh, this strong and this strong and this strong. And when you look back by your notes, but you say, but if this is the theory and this might tell you, is either the theory wrong or he might tell you lie, I don't know. And most time, you look at it, they know what they're telling you is wrong or stupid, but because they think you don't know, them just rob you. Them take off your genuine parts off of your vehicle and say, all right, me I want next good part, man, me get it for. Take off your part, go fling it in the garage and give you an inferior part. You go and feel nice now, so you can't fix it. You don't know, so you were robbed, right? So, as me I say, it's just how you use the knowledge, people, and don't get overstressed, overwork. Say, boy, studying hard, right? Because I tell you, sometime in our work world now, my personal view would have prefer sitting in our exam right now at school of panic. Because when all of the responsibilities come by you, the difference is, you have the option to fail without dire consequences in university. Meaning, you fail, you just know, say, I want a little money if you go pay back. You cannot be the architect or the engineer or the technician put on a plant and you mess up and cost people lives, cost the company millions of dollars, and think it will go down easy on you, right? So take my foolish advice, take your time, don't rush to go through university. Don't just copy out of your people and paper upon the exam. Understand the material being taught and ask yourself, how can this help me in the future to earn a proper income by using the knowledge? And that is my little bit, and my memories and my little advice still further down in the presentation.
All right, so thank you, Vashawn. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, John Paul. Thank you, Andrew. This was really encouraging. I don't know about anybody else, but as I said, after the first two speakers went, I really felt motivated. right? From Joshua, he mentioned, you need a good support system. You need to set and write your goals, as well as he said university years are the best years of your life. Even though we can't see it right now, but we still need to enjoy the experience, even though we just want to reach the destination, right? From Vashawn, he said that even though he grew up poor, right, he didn't allow that to deter his determination to be the engineer that he wanted to be, right? He got involved in extracurriculars, he took the leap of faith, and he loved what he did, right? From Andrew, what stood out from Andrew's presentation was when I don't know, somebody above him spoke over his life, and that stood out for me, right? It just took one person to believe in your capabilities to just make you just push through and complete it. And from JP, everybody know, well, from CMU, right? Everybody should know John Paul's story. And each time he says it, it's like first time I hear it. It just so new every time, and I just feel inspired and motivated each time John Paul says his story, right? He says, don't give up. Don't give up. As cliche as it sounds, don't give up. We just need to push through every course, every exam until we graduate. We're gonna get through, guys. We're gonna get through. At this time, I'm just gonna move on to Niall to continue this part of the discussion.
Hi, afternoon, everyone. Everybody here and see me? All right. Great to be here once more. So just I have a few questions. It was really, as Kishana summarized, it was really interesting to hear your journey through engine. And of course, we are reassured that no, maybe we can make it through because I know they all feel stressed. But for those people have gone through it before. But so a few questions still. So I mean, you guys will alluded to it still, and talked a bit about it, some more than others. But I really want to hear, like, when did he come to it after all the stress, the journey, the long journey now? How did you feel to know, say, yes, your degree ready, you're about to graduate? How was that day if you know, say, oh, you completed the program? So again, we start with Joshua. Joshua, you're still here?
Yeah, man, I'm still here. Boy, I had, in my head, I was always thinking about that day. Unfortunately, COVID came, and the thoughts I had for that day got shifted drastically. But in essence, when I saw my face, because at the youth graduation, they streamed it on YouTube, and we saw our faces go across the screen. And when you hear your name, Joshua Swaby, boy, I can't think of a more powerful time where I've heard my name, well, besides my mother calling for me, possibly, but I can't think of a more powerful time up hearing my name. And I was look back and I was saying, boy, 3 years have passed already. Because trust me, in retrospect, the time flies. When you're in there, it seems like forever. And then after you look back and say that, oh, that feels like yesterday. It's a very weird concept, but it's just how time works in a sense. But yes, when I finally graduated, it was a really good feeling. It kind of felt surreal. It didn't feel real at the time. And I actually expected myself to be a bit more excited, but I just know that I have a long way that I want to achieve. And as I stated earlier, you put forward your goals, you set your goals. Currently, you have to look forward to say, okay, what can I achieve? What do I want to achieve? And how am I going to get there? But it's good to look in the now and say, yes, I've graduated. Those 3 years, those 4 years of learning, I have grasped, well, not grasped all the concepts, but I have put in my best effort. And now it's time for me to push forward into my future.
right, thanks, Joshua. So I want to hear from Sir John Paul, Sir Bramwell, come Joe. How
Yeah,
did it
well,
feel
for
to
me,
you?
it was a very fulfilling moment, right? Because one of the things is my family had a trend for starting school and stopping, right? So completing the bachelor's was a very fulfilling moment for my family, right? Because at the end of the day, my family felt that, boy, all that we achieved, from me achieve, all that we achieve. And it gave me a good, I don't know even the word to describe it, to know that, boy, I passed through that phase, right? Because when you reach that finish line there, and boy, when you look back on the struggles, and honestly, you know, me I tell you, people, you see, if you're not struggling in life, your life boring, very, very boring. If if you have everything to your convenience at every time where you don't have to even try or put in little effort, your life just sad, right? As me say, me no want to use the word coming from a poor background. I use the word coming from a normal background because rough life is what almost everybody is experiencing right now. Somehow we have the money, but don't have the support. Somehow we don't have the support nor the money. A lot of us have different struggles in different ways, right? So we won't even put emphasis on just the financial part of it. And one of the great moments is just that moment walking up on the stage at graduation, where I had some of my students shouting for me, my family. But boy, one girl go, me don't know where this girl come from. Me I go up on the stage, me just hear, big up me baby father. And me I say, Jesus, peace. And me and my mother, yeah, I make four. And me start to wonder where this girl come from. But anyway, she was just joking around because we realize now every almost other meal went up, she showed the same thing. What a relief. But trust me, it is a very good feeling to know that you overcome a hurdle that was so big. And that time I became so enthused to just take on new challenges because I said, boy, if me can done 4 years at university, me not see nothing else we can stop me right now. And from that, it's just from strength to strength. Over to you.
You want to blessings, Sir Bramwell. All right. quite an interesting description of the feeling. I love that. So Johnson, what you about? All right, for me, all right, when I finished school, I felt delighted. Straight up, I was at the finish line, and I was thinking unidirectional now. I'm at the finish line, and I can't even think beyond now. Say yes, we finally finished. But little did I know that at the finish line was actually the starting blocks for another journey, for another part. So when I did my last exam, I remember coming out and greeting my friends and say, yeah, man, what want we do? Come, we go somewhere. Everything came to mind. You understand? But you're going to realize that school itself, even though some part of the journey is dynamic, you're going to realize that school is systematic as it relates to your approach. Let me break it down. So when you're in school, you know that after you finish first year, you're going to go to second year, then third year, and if it's a 4-year course, then fourth year. Life after school is way dynamic. It's different. When you finish school, you have to think about where am I going to end up next? Some people not sure they're going to get a job. You're talking about sending out resumes. Sometimes they even find themselves in a field that you didn't expect to. Because by truth, everybody or most person actually had a dream job or somewhere where they see themselves after them leave school. And you have to realize that sometimes it doesn't work out like that, right? Sometimes you have to start somewhere till you can work your way up to where you want to be. And you know, persons sometimes feel demotivated, not getting where they want immediately. But you realize that the first couple of years of the school, the experience is what you should definitely prioritize, because that experience is going to help you to channel to where you want. Right. So yes, I would have said unidirectional is way to my thinking. I was just happy. Then I started afterwards, I started kick back and say, all right, what is next? Started to think about masters. So you know that's another schooling process again. Started to think about where exactly I want to work as relates to the field, everything, the different job offer, different resumes and everything. But in all, the burst of joy went because a different journey started, a different path started. But I would say definitely I felt delighted that I've completed. And what I prioritized when I was in the final year, what I tried to do is ensure that I am still a part of the schooling system. I'm still there to give back my expertise or my experience from my journey. So since then, I've been serving on the engineering committee as advisors all the years since I left, right? Just to see how best I can help representatives to make students' life better. So yes, I'm old school, but I graduated just by physicality, but not in heart. So in all, it's been good.
All right, thank you, Sir Johnson. And Sir Vashawn, about?
Yes, about when I finished. That was very, this was a very,
how was the feeling?
Yeah, that was a very special moment for me. You know. To be honest, I am the first from my family to finish or to go to college, and I think I set a trend because now my little sister is finishing up. It was very, very good for us, and so we grew up. We have farmers. We didn't have persons in my family never have a 9 to 5 or so. So when they came to a graduation and hear the name Vashawn call, they could hear the noise because everybody pack up, a little bus from country and came down. So it was just so much fun. I can just remember that day, and it was a very, very special moment for me when I finished. That was for like graduation. However, when I finished my final exam, that wasn't the end, because after finishing the final exam, a lot of my group members went away to work and travel, and I was left here alone to finish the final project. But because I wanted a job, because I wasn't on work and travel, I realized that I had to finish that project. So I had to finish it before I went to that internship at JPS. So I did that project out here, build that device. And when they came back, to be honest, a lot of them didn't know when we were presenting the project. A lot of them didn't know a thing. And I was talking, and Mr. McCarthy was saying that, don't say a word. And, I was trying to help them out, but Mr. McCarthy said, no, step out of the room. I need to question them for their parts of the project. So it was a very interesting feeling. And to be honest, when I got that degree, this was where everything was good, because I remember walking to Caribbean Maritime in the middle of the road going out, because water is on both sides of the road and we were afraid of the crocodile. Walking when I was going in 2012, and I walked back out 2016 with a degree in my hand. And I went home and I posted it, and I was like, time flies, walking in 2012, walking out 2016, degree in your hand. It was a very, very, it was the most exciting time of my life, to be honest, knowing where I've coming from and where it's just getting that paper and seeing your name on it. It means a lot. I never know where we're going to do with it, but it really was the first step of many good things that to follow. So it's a very, very interesting feeling for me. Over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. So I hand over to Sir Alex. So he read himself. Is it? So thanks for those responses. Definitely give me something to look forward to. I swear. All right, Alex, take it away.
Yeah, man, so we're here and where we're wrapping up. I have a few final questions for everybody. Again, my name is Alex. But there's a few more questions, and I'll just point on, a few persons remaining in the call. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. So I hope everybody can hear me clearly as I ask these questions. So the first question I really want to ask everybody, and I know personally Andrew was the past engine rep. I am at one point now feeling his shoes from way back in. But it brought me to a question. What was it like, juggling school and being the student representative where you are now? And what lessons have you learned from that experience that has gotten you to where you are now? Which job, the job that you're in now? How has that benefit you? So Andrew.
Okay, so that question is for me. All right, so being a student representative, taught me to strike a better balance, to manage my time properly. All right, so it is very consuming, especially if you want to be an effective representative, because there are a lot of student issues. Students are still being affected by the system and what is being offered. So you must know that, imagine, it's been coming from a very long time, and it will continue. However, we have to try as a representative to put our best foot forward in representation. But the thing about it is that the support system I had, they understand that and they appreciated it. And that gave them the motivation to ensure that I continue to drive myself as a representative to represent the students and serve, while they helped to fill the gaps that I might fall short. For example, schoolwork. I remember instances where, because of important meetings, I have to miss class, right? And my peers ensure that they make it a priority to ensure that I'm on track as related to my schooling. It helped me to build my passion, and that was very important. Why is very important? When I left school, I became a part of National Youth Parliament and started to extend my passion into a different avenue, no longer student representation, but youth at large, right? And on the platform, when you start to implement policies and exercise the intrinsic standard of volunteerism, it helped me. That foundation I got as a representative helped me to be an effective youth parliamentarian. As relates to where I am now as an employee at Aeronautical Telecommunications Limited, that energy, trust me, whatever you do, you realize that people around you will see, and that will give them a certain energy. So as a young man in the company, I take part in a lot of initiatives, right? And this is known throughout the company. HR usually like send out notices and stuff, and in turn, some of these co-workers will come to me and say, guess what? I want to give back. How can I? So you realize that the light you shine, right? The light you shine, even though it is not company operation related, that light helps to get other persons to get on board to give back in how they can. So it is really amazing, because not only that, and I noticed that even the experience as a representative as to balancing, I am able to effectively execute all my job tasks, right? Be on time, I still might procrastinate, but I have the same approach as raised to getting my work done, and I also have the same approach as to putting passion in whatever representation body I am a part of. So that is how being a representative at the School of Engineering is helping me now as a young professional to strike a balance.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. And I couldn't hear, but I couldn't help but overhear from my colleague here that we have a vice president, or one vice president of internal internal affairs here. Mr. Swaby, what was your experience like?
Yeah, wow. So just to backtrack a bit again, just to build up to that point, just like some of the other speakers as they went through, I was a very reserved person. I really didn't see myself being the voice of the people. Um, so at the Faculty of Engineering at UE, we had just coming to the university with our faculty representatives. So as we went in, like in my mind, I was saying, maybe it would be a good thing to do, especially since one of my support systems on the call, Mr. John Mike Childs, who happened to be the president of law at the Faculty of Law at UE. He really pushed me and said, you can do this. Like, why don't you think you can do this? And people, don't be afraid to come out of your comfort zone. Life will be very boring if you don't come out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to take risks and go for what you want. So I went for the position of president, as that was the only thing we could run for at the time. Unfortunately, I lost by a very wide margin. But fortunately, I think for me, that got me into a position where I could best utilize my strengths to help the Faculty of Engineering as the Vice President of Internal Affairs. So what lessons I took from that I can use in my current situation? Well, I'm a very young student. I started university at 17 years old, graduated at 20 years old. While I was the faculty internal VP, it was a very jarring thing because I have to be the one organizing along with my other committee members, along with my other team members, the president, the other vice president, to really go through a task and get out of my comfort zone and really go into how I can give back to my university. What I took from that was time management. People, yes, there are 24 hours in a day and sleep is very important. One thing I want to enforce to everyone, overproductivity is a thing. I know everyone wants to get where we want to get into life fast, but take care of yourself. You're physically, mentally, take care of yourself. Know how much your body can handle, know how much your mind can handle, and how you can utilize your strengths to get towards your goal. Please, I urge you, take care of yourself. People have gone mad, senile, crazy, trying to get to the upper echelons without knowing what their strengths and capabilities are. So please, pace yourselves, please. But also strive for your goals. Strive for your goals. So yes, time management was a major thing I learned. Students after university, yes, we are burnt out. Imagine 3 years, 4 years of just constant pressures, constant deadlines, constant somebody saying, I need my work tomorrow, I need my work 12, I need my work 11:59. If you give it to me 12:01, I'm not get a grade. It's kind of jarring, it's a very jarring experience. So moving back to my position, it really helped me to be more confident in myself, to really say that, hey, I know my strengths, I know what I can do, I know what I can't do. And that really helped me to pace myself and really balance my time, balance my skills, balance my strengths and my weaknesses to get where I am professionally today. So thank you for the question. I hope that answered.
Yes, man, definitely. Thank you for your response. Like ourselves here, taking up student leadership for some was not even, a thought in our minds, but then here we are now, almost 1 year in for some, over 1 year for others in the portfolio. And, I thank you for this because it gives me an insight and I thank as well Andrew for your answer, because it gives us an insight as to what we are currently doing and how we can use it to transition into the working world, because leadership is a very important role to play. If I remember well from Andrew's speech that he gave earlier, he says that one of the things that made him stood up more, what he felt made him stood up more when he applied for even scholarships and grants and so forth, is the fact of his involvement and his leadership. And it goes to show that being in a position like this, or even similar to this, can have a drastic effect on your life moving into the industry when going into that point. So again, thank you. There's a few more questions, and this one I have directed at Mr. John Paul Bramwell. Do you have any side jobs or side hustles, as some would have said, or responsibilities? And if yes, what are they and how are you managing? As students.
Wally per side hustle, Wally per side job, and all of them are legal.
All right, Mr. Bramwell, let's go through them one by one if you can.
All right, so let me say my primary job is an assistant lecturer at the Caribbean Maritime University. Separate from that, my final year project has become one of my main income earners. So I do sell chicken defeather machines. So who are folk over the yard and want to, boost your production by having the ability to process your chickens with just 2 persons or 3 persons. And if you have a folk who are like 2,000, you just need about 2 persons to process those. You're good. So Bell have my number. So while I'm telling you, I'm advertising as well. For all who are folk who been at the yard, can shout me on that. That's number 1 side hustle. Tax returns for all those persons who go on work and travel. One of the things is somebody they mess up my taxes when me go on work and travel, and me get next bad and decide say, if me don't know if to do it, nobody now go do it for me. So I learned. It become an income earner for me. And what I try to do every year, I try keep up to date with them regulations, and so for better assist people. I actually even teach some of my students for file tax. Kisha Annabelle was one of them who assisted me last year, yeah. So that's another side also. So if you need your taxes filed, you can shout me and I'll explain everything to you. And if you any difficulty you have with your taxes, just shout me. Next hustle, which is one of the main ones, is my wedding decor catering and planning company, Limarbs International. Limarbs is pretty much my last name backway, Bramwell backway, LLEWMARBS, well, without the S. And we provide catering services based on the knowledge I got from work and travel, decoration, proper customer service. We have proper servers in uniform, photography, we have access to venues, and pretty much, so if you're getting married, you can shout us. It's almost a one-stop shop, and everything is customized to your liking. So if you want the moon from out of the sky, we will make one for you. You will get it. We never say no to a customer, right? Another side also, right now that I'm working on is pretty much online shopping and online and shipping. So, people, avenues are out there, so you have to capitalize on people laziness. People want other stuff online, me just them say go to Amazon and them say, boy, they can't bother me if you just use my Amazon account. No problem. Them use my account, me just put my charge on it. It's another income earner. So it is not always something big outside the box you have to try. It's just remaining consistent with something and putting your little twist to it until you can grow into it. What else me do? Side hustle. Boy, so much me not even remember them. Market run. So I have family who are farmers in St. Elizabeth. So I pretty much serve the Clarendon area. So if you want produce from Senti in bulk, you place your order, pay money, we get it, we bring it back to you. And we have some other things working on, not too official yet, but when with them concrete, we mention them. But pretty much those are the side hustle people, and all of the experience I'm learning at school, for work and travel, you just combine everything and make it work for you. As me say, each and every subject that you learn in school teach you something. One of the questions, even they asked one of the panelists earlier about how leadership, student leadership assisted them. It helped you to deal with different personalities as well. Because right now, I have a lot of young people working with me and my team for the decorations and the catering and stuff. And they're from different backgrounds, right? You have these kind of avenues, working with the student union, being a class rep. Trust me, yes, when you put yourself out there, people, and try, it teach you that, boy, this person, thin skin. So you have to be careful what you say around this one. This one you can depend on. But one of the things I learned, right? You don't command people. You motivate people when you're working with people. And that's a big difference, right? When somebody feels motivated around you and to work for you and with you, look at the productivity rate compared to commanding them to say, do this and that. Naturally, you're going to set deadlines, and you're going to set a standard. But at the end of the day, one of the things I strongly refuse to use is a term called human resource. I am not a resource. I am capital. So the human capital, because resource is something where you use and you dash when you're done with it. Right? Capital is something of more value. So you have to invest in your human capital as entrepreneurs or managers or leaders. And remember that they are people too, just like you. Take care of them take care of you, and take care of your business. That's my thought.
All right, Mr. Bramwell, thank you very much. And as a lot of people, saying in the chat, I wonder how you manage all of that. You get me, and even one person, Miss Roseman, I said, yeah, man, Bramwell, you need to mentor some of my youth them because, you need them my lesson. But see, then now, so when you go up on the work and travel, someone, say, you will go, make a call and say, yeah, man, the taxes, them need to file, and, what go on.
Yeah, man. And just to add to what you were saying, how I manage all of it, I do not manage all of it. People you achieve through each other. You see, classmate them when you sit down beside them in a class, do not take them for granted.
Hey.
And every time I need something, I send it, and me go feed. I have friends down there that me say, all right, yo, yeah, come on me a pen. Them say, yeah, well, me now come on me a pen, but me I head to town. Me say, all right, me have a package to pick up down there, so pick you up and we meet you on the highway or whatever. So, I mean, you have to learn to achieve through people and don't shortchange each other, right? If you beg a friend, do you a favor like that? Me ask them, say, boy, pick up that and send it here, come for me. A lot of people will have the good heart for say, boy, I just want one time thing or a easy convenience to just stop 2 minutes, pick you up and carry go. Still compensate them, right? As you grow, bring people to grow with you, right? Don't take up everything on yourself. If you alone are trying to manage everything, that's where burnout comes in, that's where insanity comes in. And boy, I'm too young for each day stage there. So learn to bring people with you, motivate them, compensate them, and pass on the trade as well. Don't try to keep every knowledge to yourself. One of the things I realized we do badly in Jamaica is that, boy, if I'm the best welder on the job, I make sure I remain the best welder. No. How about training every well, right? That's the company find some value in you. They promote you because the job that you were doing, you have also taught so many people to do it at the same quality that you were doing it, that they put you to a position to do something else, right? At the same thing out here, when we see even some policemen, they are very good at their work. Okay. Them now pass on the good ethics, the good morals, the good conduct to the younger policemen coming up. So you realize they're always at the same spot, right? Now get promoted. I mean, I don't know if people realize this, but there's one in Maypen who ride one bike. He has been at the same rank since I was in basic school. I mean, he did basic school 1995. I see him 2 stripes upon his shoulder up to now. Because what? He's good at his job, but he now pass on him knowledge and him skills to nobody else. So him stuck one place. So you have to be careful when you hold on to something too long. All right, me done here now.
All right, thank you. Thank you again. So, you know, you're supposed to ask one more question, and me really want to hear the answer to that question. So, me go allow if you ask for somebody from the chat. See if I can quickly find it. Oh, we've spoken a lot. Yes, man. So this question I am putting towards Mr. Vashawn Burnett. I hope he's still here with us. From Ms. Gabriel W. Question for the speakers. Would love to hear more about the journey between graduation and working at your first job. You know, we're kind of over time now, so we're just asking for a quick, you know, reasoning regarding that.
All right, so thanks for that question. Mine was a bit different. I graduated while in the job because when graduation was in November and I started work in July. I started working, I think it was 2 or 3 months after I finished my final exam. And trust me, it was a very hectic transition because I started out as an intern at the Jamaica Public Service Company. And to be honest, I started July, and by September in my internship role, I had a presentation to make to the entire JPS leadership team, including the then president, Ms. Kelly Tomlin. And trust me, if it wasn't for my role as a president in my engineering club or some of the extracurricular activities or the speaking up in presentations, I would have passed out in that room, because when I was there, I sat in the room and it was all VPs and the president of the Jamaica Public Service Company, and persons come in and they presented, and then she was like, oh, we don't want to hear so much details. I get to the point, and I was there and she was talking to other persons, and trust me, I was there. I wanted to pee so bad. I sat there, my name coming up, wanted to pee. But I said to myself, this can make me or break me. So I said, I'm gonna give it my best shot, and drank some water, and I went up, and trust me, I presented that project. And from that project, the president herself gave me another project, and she was like, well done. And so sometimes opportunities come up, and it might come immediately after you graduate or immediately after that last examination, and you have to be prepared, and you have to put yourself out there and just remember everything that you learn in school, because trust me, we all have a bachelor's, and we have all went through the process, and we all know what we're doing. And the next thing I want everyone here to learn is public speaking as engineers. Trust me, engineers that speak goes a far way in the working world. So please focus on presenting and public speaking, because not everyone can understand an engineer when he talks. So you have to ensure that you can get that across to other persons, because when you go up in front of a CEO as an engineer and you're talking about watt and kilowatt and certain things, and they don't understand you, you have to be able to communicate. You have to be very confident in what you're doing. So just focus on developing that skill. It will help you to go far, especially in interviews and so forth. So I hope that answers the question.
Hi, Alex. Alex?
Yes.
So could I give a quick 2 cents on that as well, the same question?
Yeah, man, go right ahead, man.
All right, one thing I want to say to everybody, in that transition between graduation and working at your very first job. Firstly, when we're in school and we do work, we normally get a little grade, or we get a little sticker, or if your teacher was a sticker person or a smiley face person, was pretty nice. When you're at your office now and you're doing those draft reports, those draft designs for your supervisor, and they give back those everlasting comments, 3-4 pages, and there's no grade that says, okay, I can improve there. It's just a lot of red writing on what you thought you did your best job. That can be very demotivating. So what you need to get a grasp of is sometimes you're not going to receive all the commendation for your work. Sometimes those comments, those criticisms are for you to be better and for you to build yourself. They're not meant for you, they're not meant to drag you down, they're meant to make you better. You're not always going to see that A or that B. After you leave school, you will possibly never see a A or a B on your grade again, well, on a paper again. You're just going to see lots of comments, lots of emails being sent, lots of people professionally cussing me out on an email, further to my previous email, etc. Lots of that is going to pop up. Lots of that is going to pop up. One thing I want to say again, when you begin work, when you go from seeing $200 in your bank account or $500 to seeing $200,000 in your bank account, that can be a very jarring experience. A very jarring experience. Your brain, to process that you have that amount, you need to learn how to budget. You need to learn how to invest. You really need to get into the practice of budgeting your money. It's a typical thing in Jamaica sometimes. We live month to month. Living month to month is not a very good feeling. You need to be able to budget when you do begin to get your money. You need to be able to invest your money. You need to be able to save your money. Also, like Mr. Bramwell, and I'm sure a lot of others, I am a proud borrower from the SLB, and I intend to be a proud payer back of my loan, so other people can get that same opportunity that I got when I had to take student loan. Because without student loan, school would not have been possible. So I have to give back now, so other people can get that same experience. It has to happen. You have to budget to clear your debts. When you clear your debts, I am telling you, when you clear your debts, it's going to be a greater feeling than possibly graduation. It's going to be a greater feeling than possibly getting a 4.0 GPA. When you clear your debts and you owe possibly no one, and possibly you just have good debts, that feeling that you experience is going to be surreal. It's going to be crazy. I personally am still working towards that. I still have a support system. I'm trying to get there, but it's very good to build those skills from now. Start saving from now, start budgeting from now, start thinking about, okay, where can I go into? Invest in stocks. Now is the best time to possibly invest in stocks, as lots of the market prices are at a discount right now. Lots of YouTube videos are online. You have 876 Invest online, which is a Jamaican independent group of young men and women who really work towards getting lots of young Jamaicans financially free. Go on YouTube, look at their videos, very insightful stuff. When you go to work, what I'm going to tell you, pension, very much so. Give your pension contribution from early. When you reach 60 and you start getting paid back that money, it's going to be a very good feeling. Give for pension, get insurance. Please, I'm begging you, from now, the earlier you get insurance, critical health, life insurance is the best thing. I'm going to give a shameless plug for JN Life. You can go to JN Life, contact a JN Life agent, contact Miss Patricia Gillings possibly as an agent. Shameless plug because she's my mother and working very hard. So I would appreciate if you reached out to her, Miss Patricia Gillings at JN Life. But yes, there are lots of seminars and programs that go into teaching young people how to be financially free, especially at JN. So please look into it. The transition is going to be very rough from graduation into the work world, but you have to prepare yourself. You have to look into it. You have to look into yourself and see what you want out of life. You want to possibly retire by 30. It is possible. It is very possible. If you're like Mr. Bramwell and very resourceful and very intelligent and know how to manage your human capital, then there's really nothing that can stop you from retiring early, 40, 30. It just depends on how much you're willing to put up. It just really depends on how much you are willing to put up. So really thank you for the time again, Alex, just to state that point.
Yeah, man, of course, man, of course. And, I appreciate the responses because, these are what we're used to. Fuel conversations, you get me, and even start more conversations. And I thank, the persons who have asked the questions, the comments in the session that's been continuously popping. You get me, the speakers, who have shared their stories, shared their experience, and shared the responses to the answers. You get me, I really and truly appreciate it. And now I'll hand back to, Madam CMU Engine Rep. You get me, yeah man, Miss Kishana Bell. Yeah, man.
All right, so, wow. That's really my response for now. Wow. I feel so motivated, guys. I don't know about you, as I've been saying this. I don't know about you, but I really feel like say I could have done my degree, then I master's next, then no PhD, right? Oh my gosh, it was so informative. It was so inspiring. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Vashawn. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Jean Paul. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, for listening, for asking your questions, for interacting, right? Just to wrap up, here are some few points from the past students, as well as from us, the engineers, right? To everyone who is here right now, listening, I just want you to be reminded, do not be deterred by your struggle. Just adapt to the situation, right? And don't take anything for granted. Prioritize. Get involved, right? And just enjoy the journey. Yeah, we want to reach the finish line. But to get to the finish line, we have to go through a couple valleys, right? And it's in those valleys we get a couple lessons, right, that we can apply ourselves. And lastly, right, I know 1 degree, I give out. I know 1 degree, I give out. So help where you can, help as much persons you can, right, during your 4 years, 3 years that you are studying, or even more than 3 or 5 years, Yeah, to my engine representatives, I want you guys to just continue striking that balance that we've been doing over the past year and take risks, right? And as I usually say to everybody, it's going to work out. It's going to work out eventually. So just keep on the road, just continue drive. Thank you once more for just go and drive. Thank you for coming out, everyone. Thank you to our past students. Thank you to my fellow engineers. And yeah, big up yourself, everybody, and meet us again next year. That's it for today.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Bye. Had a time.
Joshua, no need to apologize for the plug. No need to apologize for the plug. I'm going to get you on my team. Good job.
I'm ready.
I'm already the remote. Man never touching the remote till him broke. I told remote till him broke up. Jesus. The black remote, but it's a TV one. Them and that they had to take them off. And them still. So now we can't go on. What are you up to, little man? You're not going to sleep? No, sir. Come here. Come here to auntie. Come here. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. Right here. You're not going to sleep? Whose belly is this? Whose belly is this? Come here, man. Whose belly is this? Whose belly is this? You're cute, like. Come on, man. Bye.
Oh, that's nice. Well, it's about time. Hey, Jane. We've been going through the daily anything on spiritual you know, so these clients that should be. Standing on my pillow, I'm walking in my bed, and I tell him to stop. No, you're heavy, man. You're Actually, a lot of people. You're in there 20 minutes during Testing him how he uses electric guitars in his band. What guitars? The expensive ones. This is probably put your hand. Hey, what? Where were you? Stressed out. Time to refresh you.